Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss the second part of our module 17, which is the BIR Forms and other documentation. Here, we are going to discuss the transfer tax return, the value-added tax return, the documentary stamp tax return, and the different excise tax return. So, let's start. So, first, we are going to discuss the VAT and the percentage tax return. So here we are going to discuss 5 forms such as the following: Form 2550M, Form 2550Q, Form 2551M, Form 2551Q, and Form 2552. So what are those? So when we say 2550M, it is the monthly value-added tax return. It is a battable business or subject to pay monthly VAT based on its net sales. So it should be paid not later than 25th day following the close of the month. So we have the filing date. It is for a large and non-large taxpayer. In accordance with the schedule set forth in RR number 36/2002 as follows. For Group A, it should be paid on the 25th day following the end of the month. For the Group B, it should be paid within 24 days following the end of the month. For Group C, it should be 23 days following the end of the month. For Group D, it should be 22 days following the end of the month. And from Group E, it should be at least 21 days following the end of the month. Next is we have the BIR Form 25Q, which is the quarterly value-added tax return. A battable business are subject to pay quarterly VAT based on the summary of quarterly net sales. So, when you say per quarter, it means we have first, second, third, and fourth quarter, which are divided into from January to March, April to June, July to September, and October to December. So, what will be the filing date of quarterly value-added tax return? This return is filed not later than 25th day following the close of each taxable quarter. The term taxable quarter shall mean the quarter that is synchronized to the income tax quarter of the taxpayer. Example is calendar quarter of fiscal quarter. This is the BIR Form 2551. So it is the monthly percentage tax return. A non-battable business are subject to pay monthly percentage tax return if sales does not exceed 1.5 million. So see other discussion that are also subject to percentage tax. For a large and non-large taxpayer, in accordance with the schedule set forth in RR 26/2002 as follows. So we have Group A to E, and based on the group, they can be paid on the 25th, 24th, 23rd, 22nd, or 21st day following the end of the month. So we have 2551Q. So this one is a quarterly percentage tax return. It is a non-battable business that are subject to pay a quarterly percentage based on the summary of quarterly net sales. So see other discussion also that are subject to percentage tax. So this return is filed not later than 25th day following the close of each taxable quarter. And we have 2552. So this is a percentage tax return for transaction involving share of stocks listed and traded through the local stock exchange or through initial or secondary public offering. So filing date for the local stock exchange is 6/10 of 1% or 0.006 multiplied by the amount of the involving share of stocks listed. If through initial public offering or IPO, payment of tax is if they will buy up to 25% share of stocks, then they need to pay 4%. If over 25 but not over 33 and 1/3%, then they will need to pay 2% tax. If it is over 33.33%, then they will pay at least 1%. Okay, so next is the BIR documentary stamp tax return. So here we only have two different sets of forms. So first is the Form 2000 of OT. and the second one is the Form 2000. So what are those? When you see BIR Form 2000 out, it is the documentary stamp tax declaration return. It is to be accomplished every time the taxpayer pays onerous disposition of share of tax, properties, conditional sales, transfer of exchange, etc. We need to say it is always part of the documentation that you have to make it authentic or original. So, filing date of the documentary stamp tax declaration return shall be filed when the tax paid within 5 days after the close of the month when the taxable document was already made, signed, issued, accepted, or transferred. Next is we have the BIR Form 2000. So, it is what we call as the monthly documentary stamp tax declaration return. To be accomplished, in case of a fixture of documentary stamp tax, electronic documentary stamp tax used by taxpayer belonging to the industries paying monthly a revenue collection agent for remittance of solid loose documentary stamp. So the filing date or the return shall be filed within 5 days after the close of the month, when the taxable document was made, signed, issued, accepted, or transferred, or when reloading a metering machine becomes necessary or upon remittance by revenue collection agent of collection from the sale of those stamps. Next is we have the BIR transfer tax return. So here we only divide it into two different forms such as Form 1800 and Form 1801. So what are those? So when you say BIR Form 1800, so it means donor's tax return. It is a transfer or causes to transfer property by gift, whether in trust or otherwise, whether the gift is direct or indirect, and whether the property is real or personal, tangible or intangible. So the filing date here is the return shall be filed within 30 days after the gift or donation is made. A separate return is filed for each gift or donation made on different dates during the year, reflecting therein any previous net gifts made in the same calendar year. So next form that we have is what we know as the BIR Form 1801 or the essay tax return. So this return can be filed by an administrator, executor, or any of the legal heir of the decedent. The return shall be filed within 1 year from the decedent's death. So next that we have is the BIR tax return. So we have BIR Form 2200A, BIR Form 2200AN, C, 2200M, 2200P, 2200T, and the last one is 2200S. So what are those? So let's start. Excise tax return for alcohol products. So this return shall be filed in triplicate by the following: manufacturer or producer of locally manufactured or produced alcohol products, owners or person having possession of the alcohol products which were removed from the place of production without the payment of excise tax. So filing date is a separate return shall be filed if the excise tax shall be paid before removal of the alcohol products from the place of production. For AFPS taxpayer, the filing of return and payment of excise tax due thereon shall be in accordance with the provision of existing applicable revenue issuances. Next is we have BIR Form 2200AN. So this is excise tax return for automobile and non-essential foods. So this return shall be filed in triplicate by the following: manufacturer, producer, or assembler of locally manufactured, produced, assembled automobile, manufacturer or producer of locally manufactured or produced non-essential goods such as jewelry, perfume, toilet, water, yacht, and other vessels intended for leisure or sports. Buyer or transferee of automobile not previously taxed and subsequently sold or transferred by the tax-exempted seller and owner or person having possession of the above article which were removed from the place of production without the payment of excise tax. So, filing date for each place of production, a separate return shall be filed and the excise tax shall be paid before removal of the above mentioned products from the place of production. Then we have BIR Form 2200C. So this one is excise tax return for cosmetic products. So this return shall be filed in triplicate by any person, whether natural or juridical, performing invasive cosmetic procedures, surgeries, and body enhancement directed solely towards improving, altering, or enhancing the patient's appearance, and do not meaningfully promote the proper functions of the body or prevent or treat illness or disease, and as are liable to pay excise tax. So filing date, for each place of production, a separate return shall be filed and the excise tax shall be paid before removal of the cosmetic products from the place of production. Next form that we have is what we quote as the BIR Form 2200M. So this one is for mineral products. This return shall be filed in triplicate by the following: owner, lessee, concessionaire, or operator of the mining claim, first buyer, purchaser, or transferee for local sale, barter, transfer, or exchange of indigenous petroleum, natural gas, or liquefied natural gas, and owner or person having possession of the mineral product which were mined, extracted, or quarried without the payment of excise tax. So filing date, for each place of production, a separate return shall be filed and the excise tax shall be paid upon removal of the mineral products from the place of production. Next form that we have is BIR Form 2200P. So it's for excise tax return for petroleum products. So this return should be filed in triplicate by the following: manufacturer or producer of locally manufactured, produced, or refined petroleum products, any person engaged in blending, reprocessing, refining, or recycling previously taxed petroleum products. So filing date, for each and place of production, a separate return shall be filed and the excise tax shall be paid before removal of the petroleum products from the place of production. BIR Form 2200T. So T means excise tax return for tobacco products. So this return shall be filed in triplicate by the following: manufacturer or producer of locally manufactured or produced tobacco products or cigarette, wholesaler, manufacturer, producer, owner or operator of the redrying plant, as the case may be with respect to the payment of inspection fee on tobacco, scrap, cigars, cigarettes, and other tobacco products. And owner or person having possession of tobacco products which were removed from the place of production without the payment of excise tax. So for each and place of production, a separate return shall be filed and the excise tax shall be paid upon removal of the tobacco products from the place of production. So next that we have is BIR Form 2200S. So this is an excise tax return for sweetened beverages. So this return shall be filed in triplicate by the following: a manufacturer or producer of locally manufactured or produced sweetened beverages, and owner or person having possession of sweetened beverages which were removed from the place of production without the payment of excise tax. So filing date, for each place of production, a separate return shall be filed and the excise tax return shall be paid upon removal of the sweetened products from the place of production. This is the end of our discussion, and you can see our references from www.bir.gov.ph. So we have also different BIR form samples that you can see on our description box. So again, thank you and God bless. And I hope you learned something from me. Bye-bye.